Hi guys, it's ArchieLuxury, and today guys we're doing a life review video, and it's a brother's birthday. This is paid review 21QA109. That's correct guys. So I gotta tell you there, we're doing a very special paid review, and it's a birthday call out. It's a birthday call out. So I gotta tell you the truth there guys. This is what I like to see. Okay, here we go. I am commissioning, this is from Louie. I am conditioning this life review for my brother who turns 25 on the 13th of May. Please refer to him as H. Archie, please wish him a happy birthday and call him a kinda to kick the review off. If you could lean into the camera and call him a nasty, mean, nasty, miserable son of a bitch, that would be just like you used to. That would be really appreciated. Happy birthday, H. Come on, man. I can't call you a mean son of a bitch. Google Ads. See, guys, I'm now a prostitute for Google Ads. See, I can't use fake or kinders. I can't use those words. It will be bad for my monetization. I would like to give you some background on my brother and ask for some life advice on his behalf, as we find your videos, both in terms of watches and insights into life and mind of Archie, educating and entertaining. I've split this review into 3 brief categories: work life, love life, and watches. Hey, what a great way to go. What a great way to go there. Okay, so firstly, before we begin, happy birthday, H, from Louie. Louie, what a good brother. He cares for you. He loves you. Let's have a look. Work life. He went to university to study business management, during which time he lived in student accommodation but lived quite a secluded style, i.e. spent a lot of time on his computer and didn't go out much. After coming out of uni, he got a full-time, well-paid job at a security company in London. He struggled living in London and packed it in after 5 months, after having a bit of a breakdown. The commuting, living situation, etc., I think he found it a bit much, but did very well in the actual job. His work was very kind to him and offered paid time off, but H decided not to go back. Part of me is glad he packed it in, because if it wasn't for him, then what can you do? He then had a couple of smaller jobs but couldn't hold any of them down. He worked at McDonald's but left after 2 weeks because he had an argument with his manager regarding unpaid overtime, which I commend him for. He also worked at a cafe, but that has gone down the shitter due to COVID. He has for the last year been studying teaching. Initially he was very enthusiastic about it. However, due to COVID, he has put it on hold for the moment, as there's no point doing it from home. He has got a year's extension and doesn't have to do any work for the moment. However, H has the opportunity to get a job working with watches, repairing, servicing them. He will start from the bottom, but will learn a lot, and the job is quite well paid. Watches are something he enjoys working on and knows a lot about. Okay. So he's asking me some questions here. So before we go into that, I would just like to say, 25 is very young. I got to be totally honest with you. I've got 2 sons. 25 and 28. And they're kind of in the same position, except they didn't actually finish college or university. So I got to tell you, I know exactly where you're coming from. And it is a very difficult period in life. And we've had the COVID. But the important thing is, let me tell you this. The most important key to success is turning up on time. It's not brilliance or anything like that. It's really having the sheer determination, keep persevering. And I know work can be pretty suckful, especially in the UK. But hey, he's very young, and let's just hope he can get his head around it. Now, the question, Louie's asking me, should he drop the teaching course and take any opportunity to work with watches if he thinks he would enjoy it, or continue with the teaching as it's more secure? Any tips for getting a job and dealing with the stress once you have one? Okie dokie. So I got to tell you, my best advice to him there, he's obviously quite a clever young man. He went to university to study, so you don't actually mention that he finished it, but it sounds like he finished his course, his degree or his diploma. That's very good. The thing is this, he's got an extension. He doesn't have to really make a decision for the teaching gig because he's got some time off. So my advice is to do both things. Defer the teaching and then do the watch job, the repairing, the service, taking a bird in the hand is two in the bush. Now, if he does the watch job and he doesn't like it, he can always go to the teaching. So I'd say it's a no-brainer. Defer the teaching and give it a try. Anything you try is actually very, very good. The other thing is, I would say to you, a bit of life advice. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Even if you are being taken advantage of, they're not paying you properly, just bear it out. Because, you know what? To have a job is very good in this day and age. So sometimes you've got to eat a shit sandwich. And I get it. Things aren't fair all the time. No, they're not. You know, I got a really good friend of mine, Jimmy. And he actually has got an arts degree. He went to Japan. He was working. And then he's got an honors degree, I should say. Honors degree. Then he went to Japan. He lived there. He did really well. Then he came back. He didn't quite get into the position. Then he did a teaching qualification. Because he had an arts degree, he could get a DipEd. And then he kind of never grasped full time. He had a few arguments. He is a brilliant teacher. Sometimes you can't buck the system all the time. Pick your arguments. Don't always just argue over everything. Because my good friend, I see him. He's a brilliant teacher. He's very, very good. But he just is so, he's got to be right. Just bite your tongue and move on. Take the money and move on. So my advice to you would be, don't drop it. Just put it on defer and go and do the work. If you don't like the job, you could always do the teaching. But it sounds like it could be something very good. The thing is, if you've got a qualification underneath you, man, that's fantastic. You've just got to find the right thing. Don't be disillusioned. Don't get depressed. You've got to, every day, my best advice, let me give you some simple advice there. Number one, clean your room. Jordan Peterson, he's a very famous psychologist. And he's kind of he's sort of been accepted. The pro-right likes him, but he's not really pro-right. I think he's pretty middle of the road. But Jordan Peterson says the best thing you could do for your mental health is clean the space you are living in. Every day, spend an hour cleaning it, whether that's your apartment, your bedroom, your study. Clean your room because that will help your mental health. The next bit of advice I can give you is, and this is what I've said to my 2 adult sons who have kind of slipped into out of the system as well. Go to bed at a normal time, like if you were having a job in the morning. So go to bed 10:30, 11 o'clock, and wake up. Even if you don't have a job to go to, wake up 7:30, 8 o'clock, so 7:30, 7:30, because it gets you into the cycle of waking up at a normal hour. That would be very, very good to you. The next thing is, and I say this, and you may not like this, but if you can't get a job, do some volunteer work. Now you could say, oh, I'm not going to work for free, but it gives you some training. It's so much easier to find a job when you're doing something already. So as for the teaching, if you can defer it a bit, go and try the watch thing, by all means. It's always hard for everybody, including myself. I got to tell you, in my case, I had my own IT business. I started at 15. And then when I was in my later 20s, 27, 28, that business was kind of shit. And I found it very hard because I'd worked for myself for like 13 years. I found it very hard to get into paid employment. And but the thing is, I had some wonderful skills because I'd done something. I hadn't done nothing. So do something, Okay. Now, talking about love life. H is relatively tall and slim. Great. And quite handsome. He met a Southeast Asian lady after taking your advice. You said, go east, young man, and he did. And she turned out to be a complete loony. She ended up attempting suicide on his bed when we were all out. Archie, I'm sorry. I just can't trust Southeast Asian women. My experience of them leads me to believe they are deceitful and crazy. By Southeast Asian, I do not mean Japan, China, more Indonesian and the Philippines. Anyhow, he has been with his current girlfriend for about 4 years and is going to potentially propose. She's okay, 8 to 9 out of 10, proper English bird, not some Southeast Asian lady. They get on well. She is very nice, kind, and is a professional dancer. No, they're not that sort of dancer. Should H propose? If so, should he wait till he's locked down a job or do it when he likes? As a father of 4, when is the best time to have kids? Okie dokie. So, okay, well, let's have a look at this here. So he met, now I got to be honest with you. Woody Allen, very famous American producer. He ended up marrying his stepdaughter. It's a long story. You can Google it. But Woody Allen, famous movie maker, Midnight in Paris. I love Woody Allen. I really do love Woody Allen. Woody Allen said the biggest effect on your mental health, the biggest help or hindrance to you, the thing that could change your mental health the most is who you marry. And that is totally right. Who you pick as a partner will have a tremendous effect on you. It could change your fortunes. It can really have a big impact. Now, I got to be totally honest with you. I don't think all Asian ladies are more crazy or nasty than any other race. My first wife was Russian And I got to tell you, man, she was so stubborn. Then my second wife, well, actually, I never married her, but I had a 2-year relationship. We lived together. She was Thai. She was okay. She had some anger management issues. Okay. And then the last wife was the Japanese lady who I'm still with, who, you know, she can be a bit cold at times. And I've got to be totally honest with you. There is no perfect race or lady there. These people are all humans. They're humans. And, you know, there's good and bad in all races. There are people who have mental illness in China. There's people who have mental illness in Japan, in Thailand, and there's people with mental illness in Australia and England. Now, the thing is, to be honest with you, I think it doesn't really matter the race of the person. It doesn't really matter. Race related, you know, they have different cultural things, but it's better to have a relationship with somebody who's basically mentally sane. It makes a lot of difference. Now, I can't imagine, H, how terrible this would have been. She ended up attempting suicide on his bed when we were all out. That is very heavy stuff. No wonder you're a bit confused. Anyhow, he has been with his current girlfriend for about 4 years and is going to potentially propose. Okie dokie. Look, I gotta be honest with you, H. I gotta be honest with you. If you think marrying her will make your life better, if you're marrying her because you want to sort of have some stability and fix things up, I think that's a mistake. If you're marrying her because you really do care for her, you love her, and you want to go to the next step, that's all good. I honestly would say to you, if things aren't good for you, they can get really rough in a relationship. And I got to tell you the truth. When I married my Japanese lady, I was really depressed. I was very depressed because I'd come back from Asia. My divorce from the first wife was finalized. I had issues with the second lady I was with. And then I found the Japanese lady, and I gotta say, it did help me a lot. I did have employment before I did find her. I did have employment. I was doing IT contracting, but I was very angry. I was always scared that it would end and I'd be stuck. So I gotta say, having a lady can help your mental stability. It did help with mine. However, let me just say this to you. If you think, I kind of think maybe, I mean, this is personal. This is just between you and me. Don't share this. I kind of think if I would have been in a better mental place, maybe I wouldn't have married her. Because there were some other issues that came out later, and I think I may have rushed it. Okay? You don't actually have to marry somebody. You could live with them for a while. This new modern age, you can live with people. And I kind of think you're 25. Man, that is so young. So young. I got married at 20. Actually, I got married at 19. Man, I got married far too young. If I was giving myself advice, now my problem is I like the intimacy, you know, the sex. I like the sex. And that's partially why I got married so quickly. I wanted that every day. And I got to be honest with you, pretty well had that, and I'm an okay life. But, you know, she didn't quite see it that way. When I had the talk with her and explained that, they kind of got a bit offended with that. But hey, you know, that's just the packaging. Now, I got to tell you, if I was giving advice to myself at 25, I'd say, don't get married so quick. I would seriously say, fix up some core parts of your life. You sound like a smart guy. You've done some study. You've tried a few things. This is a very tough age we live in this day and age with the internet and Insta bullshit. And, you know, we don't have simple factory jobs you can just try for a while. Those things don't exist. The world is very different than in the 70s and 80s. You know, it's a different world. So my advice to you is, you could probably live with her. Do you have to really marry her? That sounds a bit... what is she going to do? She's a professional dancer. I got to be honest with you. The best professions to marry is someone who's a registered nurse, somebody who can work part-time if you do have kids down the track. I would say myself, look, there's nothing... I don't know your current girlfriend, but I would say before you get married, fix up the parts that are lacking, okay? I mean, your career. See, the problem is a man's identity is so interwoven with his job and what he does. First thing, when a bloke sees another bloke, what do you do for a job? You go to a barbecue or a... First they say, oh, what do you do? They're trying to gauge you up. They're trying to work out your class, who you are, how much money you have. They say, what do you do? That's our identity as men is determined by what work we do. So it's, you know, with women it's easier because we look at their beauty. Have they got big or small or medium or, you know, they got a different grading system, you see? And this is just how the world is. So should H propose? Look, I would say fix up the areas that are lacking before. 25 is so damn young. I would say 30 or 35 would be way better. If so, should he wait till he's locked down? Definitely lock down a job and a career, a direction, okay? As a father of four, when is it best to have kids? I tell you honestly, you really want to have kids when you've locked down a career, you've got a few things under your belt. So I wouldn't be racing to get married and have kids. I'd be wanting to fix the career. Look, and look, you're a young guy. 25 is so young. There's so much potential there. So that's my advice with that. Let's just take a quick break and we'll be right back. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury. And who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Okay, we're up to the last question this is the last section, watches. H bought a second-hand Rolex Milgauss black dial orange hand on finance. Can you tell him he should be one and done? He owns like 20 shitters and leaves some of them on the floor. See attached photo of collection. The date just is mine. That's Louie's. I don't expect you to review this, but please, can you tell him to get organized, sell some, and look after them a bit better? IKD, I don't know where the fike he gets the money for these anyhow. Okie dokie. And he also says there, in conclusion, the review, please can you give a shout out to his beautiful mum, Ali, who listens to your videos when I play them whilst working from our living room. If you can blow her a kiss, I will show her. Love you. Thank you, Arch. Louie. So I got to tell you, H. I got to tell you, I have been on the bones of my ass more times than I can count. And I got to say, the absolute best advice I can give to a young man who is a bit confused, and my best advice to you, H, keep the Milgauss. I have no problem with you buying that on finance, okay? But my best advice to you, seriously, sell the rest. Sell all of it. Sell all of it. That's exactly what I would do. There is no point, absolutely no point, to keep second-tier garbage. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? So my best advice to you would be to get rid of everything besides the Milgauss. Now, I got to tell you, I actually have a Milgauss. I've got a Z Blue. Before I had a Z Blue, I had the black dial with the non-GV. And I've got to be totally honest with you, the Milgauss is an amazing model. I absolutely love that watch. In fact, if I had a choice of my first ever Rolex was a 1016 Explorer 1. If I had a choice of a Milgauss, if I was starting again, or an Explorer 1, Milgauss. That is exactly what I would pick. And the reason I say that is because it is just a superb watch. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm just having a look here at your photos. It's unfortunate it's a low res, but look, sell off everything else. I tell you what I would do. Seriously, if I was in your position there, sell off all the garbage. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Okay? I think you got a Timex Q. Okay? They're kind of cool, but I would get rid of everything. Get rid of it. Clear the finance on the Milgauss. And I would sell off everything else. I would, if I was 25 again, I would be selling everything off, becoming a minimalist, and possibly getting a bit of work, but exploring the wonderful world. Once it reopens, if you've got teaching qualifications, you could work in Asia and backpack around. If you've got watch skills, you can get a job virtually anywhere. There's so many opportunities for you. Get rid of the garbage. I would have I would say, I think the best advice you can give you is keep one, preferably a Rolex. I mean, if not a Rolex, a Tudor. But in your case, man, you've got one of the best Rolexes of all time, the Milgauss. Steel, sports watch, big size. It's not a 36 mil. This is a 40 mil. It's a beautiful watch. The Milgauss is eccentric. It is absolutely gorgeous. So, my advice to you, no apologies for putting that on finance. That's perfectly okay. But get rid of everything else. Get rid of that debt. If it's an interest-free finance, well, put it into your savings account so it's all ready to pay it back, so you're not behind. See if you can pay in advance. See if you can, believe you me, having a Milgauss at your age, that should give you strength to move forward with your life. You're very lucky to have that. You're a young guy. I would love, you know what? I would love to be 25 again. Before you know it, you'll be 50. Believe you me, 25. Ah, I look back on myself. I had anxiety. I was worried. I had, you know, I've been there myself. I had some ups and downs. 25, I was actually flying. But by 27, 28, it wasn't looking so rosy. I had some major depression. And it was reactional depression. It wasn't just depressed because I was depressed. I was depressed because I had a wife, 2 children, a lot of commitments to keep going, a lot of responsibility, and I was scared, okay? So my advice to you is sell off all the garbage. Have as little as possible and think about, what do you want to do? I want to travel. I want to go to Europe. I want to go here. I want to do this. You can achieve anything you want. Sounds like you got good family. You got a lovely mum, Ali. You got a good brother. You just got to get some time to piece together what you want to do. So my advice to you is, please don't panic too much. Don't panic. Don't worry. It'll all be good. But please, please, get rid of all the crap. Keep the milgauss. Everything else, get rid of. Clean up your room. That's one of the key pieces of advice I gave you from before. If I was you, I'd love to be 25 and having a milgauss and have some qualifications. Man, the world is your oyster. Now look, just clean it up a bit, get it all going fine, and you will shine like a star. So please, just don't, everybody, I tell you what, you know, life, I've gone through my 20s, and my late 20s were awful because I had financial problems, I had so much commitments. It'll all come good. Don't panic. But please, try best. As I said, look at the advice I've given you there. Follow that advice and you will do really well. Okay, I want to say to you, H, happy birthday. Please, please. You are a man. You've had some trouble with the what lady, you know, your previous girlfriend. I mean, these are very horrendous things. Just take stock and move forward. I'd probably say myself, would I propose, I'd sort out your career first and just, I probably wouldn't get married that young. I reckon you look, I would, it's up to you. If you really like, I haven't met this woman, this new one, but realistically get some skills and you could plan an escape to Southeast Asia. The best thing, most wonderful thing is to see different parts of the world. And I got to be honest with you, a friend of mine lives in Thailand. He's from the UK. The UK can be bloody awful. UK can be fucking awful. The weather's shite. The people are a bit nasty. You know what I mean. So don't think you have to stay there forever. There's many opportunities. But fix up these little problems and everything will piece together well. I wish you a happy birthday, and you take care. Take care, okay? I wish good thoughts. And wear that Millie in pride. That's one and done, man. That is a perfect watch. Please. That is amazing. You've got to look at that watch and say, why should I be depressed when I got a Millie? Man, that is amazing. Okay, guys, I will see you in the next one. Happy birthday, H.
Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.
Guys, if you want a happy birthday video for a relative or friend, anybody, please email me, ArchieLuxury72@gmail.com. I'll do a happy birthday with a paid review, $50 $50. You pay a bit more. I try and put a bit more time into these videos, guys, because I want to be good to my audience. I want to be good. I want to be cool. I want to be a cool cucumber. But $50 and I will do a paid review and happy birthday video. Guys, I can't survive on Google Ads. I need your support. Look down in the description, order a video, and you will be the star of the birthday.